You're a coach, you're a leader, you're a mentor, you're a teacher. When you think, and you're an influencer and a persuader and all the above, that is the core identity. It's not about your financial planning acumen or skill set or experience or any of that. I mean, it's when somebody retains you as their advisor / planner, competency is assumed.
Hi, this is Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. My goal inside of this communication, this show, is to share with you my nearly 30 years of coaching some of the most successful financial advisors in North America. We're going to be talking about strategies, syntaxes. We're going to be bringing guests on from time to time, and I'm going to share with you what's working now. So think of this show as sort of like a little one-on-one kind of mini coaching cast, if you like, where we're going to be going in depth from time to time on strategies to help you grow your business, get more effective, become more efficient, find balance in your time management, grow your business, and quite frankly, whatever else is going on in the world today. So before we get to today's episode, I'd love for you to do a couple things for me. Number one, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're doing the audio, make sure that you give us a review on whether Spotify or Apple. We'd really appreciate that. And quite frankly, that does help. It does matter when you rate things and like things and subscribe to things. It helps us get the word out to more of the industry. And lastly, I have a very special gift for you. Go to MagellanNetwork.net, so one word, MagellanNetwork.net, and I have for you a complimentary membership, 100% gratis, where you can tap into about between 50 and 75 hours of masterclasses, forms, tools, templates, and strategies. So please go ahead and make sure you go get that claimed, smash the like button and subscribe. And please go ahead and leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you're on. And now, let's get to this week's episode.
Hi, it's your Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Today, what I want to cover, and it's summer here, so we're going to keep things a little bit brief for our kind of summer schedule. I want to talk to you guys about influencing, persuading clients and prospects, and really having that identity, which is really, really critically important. If you think about it, wouldn't this be a utopian scenario where if you just made logical recommendations, people would logically assess them and make logical decisions and take action? Wouldn't that be perfect, right? Like, makes sense, let's go do it, right? But we don't operate in that world because we deal with emotional creatures called human beings. So the skill set, if you think about it, let's talk about, we talk about the 80-20 rule of influence and persuasion. What most people think of the 80% is scripts and information, right? And presentation and objection handling and so on. And the reality is that if you approach your influence and persuasion game that way, you end up being a great presenter, maybe even have a pitch book, but you end up talking at people. That's giving information. That is not influencing or persuading anybody. So what the truth of the 80% is what we call intent. So step one is why. Why must you get this outcome? I'm going to give it to you in a very tight narrative. You have a prospect coming in. Let's just say they were referred to you, right? And coming in is Zoom, Office. Modality is not important in this context. How do you approach that meeting? Is it where, I'm going to go show up and see what happens? Is it like, what is your goal for that meeting? What is the intent, right? So what's the why? And the why really is, again, we get into the 80-20% here. The why on it is basically, hey, understand their situation, build massive amounts of rapport, get the truth for them, see if they're a right fit, right? Economics, emotionally, so on and so forth, right? You're going to show up in a meeting very differently if you say, here are my 5 or 6 objectives versus showing up and seeing what happens. If you show up and see what happens, well, you're going to get whatever shows up deal, right? So number one is intent. So if you want to be a great influencer, Why? Why are you there? The next piece, we call it PME, our three energies. So physical, mental, and emotional energy. And if you think about it, when we deal with humans, look, we're in the people business. I'm in the people business, you're in the people business. Energies matter. Physical energy is the most important. Because without physical energy, you're not going to have the mental energy and the emotional energy. Physical energy, it's like gasoline in our tank, okay? And I want you to think about this. In your career, how many meetings was it your goal, whether it was a review meeting, a COI meeting, a team meeting, a prospect meeting, doesn't matter. But you're in a position of influence, persuasion, and leadership. And your sole goal was to get through the meeting. Like, man, I just want to get through this meeting. I didn't sleep well last night, or I was out late, or whatever, right? And so you're going to just show up to survive. And that's what you do. Now, you still make money. So some people, their entire career has been defined by that moment, right there, showing up and getting through. And what's really interesting, because our game is so powerful, you can show up and still make six figures in this game. Like, still, I mean, that's the kind of beauty of this, right? You just have to be somewhat competent and somewhat consistent, and good things will happen to you. Will that make you a 7? Will that give you a 7 or 8 figure empire? No, it will not. You'll do okay. But if you show up with intent and with energy, physical energy. So this is something like I've always been able to correlate, right? The more energy you have, the healthier you are, the fitter you are, the more resources you have, the more resourceful you are. And you can deploy that. So if you're running a lot of meetings, like I know some of you guys do surge meetings, for example, you better be able to tell me your 5th or 6th surge meeting of the day is as good as your first. Because if it is not, you are robbing your clients of your best. Because then you're not at your best. And they're compensating you for you to be at your best. Okay? Really, really important. So physical energy, got to have. What's next? Mental energy. What's mental energy? It's problem solving. You know, asking critical questions, strategizing. That's mental energy. And you cannot have it without physical energy. You just can't manifest it. Last one, emotional energy. What's that? That is the ability to hang in there with somebody, to feel their pain, their uncomfortableness, their concern, to empathize, to be there for them, to be present 100%. That's emotional energy. You need all three in massive amounts. So if you want to get really good at influence, it boils down to why are you there, and then deploying those three energies. That is 80% of the game right there. The other stuff, scripts, presentations, pitch books, decks, Money Guide Pro, eMoney, Asset Map, all the kind of pretty stuff we can put on the board or on a monitor, that's the 20%. Information.
Hi, Coach Joe Lukacs here, and I'm just breaking here for a moment just to do a couple quick reminders. Number one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast. In addition, please leave a comment or a review. Those things really, really matter. And share this episode with 3 of your colleagues inside the financial services space. And lastly, make sure that you go ahead and claim your free membership inside of Magellan Network. Now back to this week's episode.
I would submit to many of you that you are spending a lot of time in the 20% zone, trying to figure out how to get better information, present your planning recommendations a little bit differently, but you're just showing up. I'm telling you, intent, i.e. why, physical, mental, and emotional energy. I cannot correlate. In my nearly 30 years now, I've never been able to correlate, go get another designation to making more money. I can correlate getting healthier to making more money. I can correlate eating better to making more money. I can correlate all day long. Story upon story, situation by situation, not a problem. I can't correlate the others. The last thing I'll say about this, and we're going to get you guys out of here. And again, thank you for your time. I know it's summer. We got a lot. We want to be enjoying ourselves. I understand that. It's the man or woman in the mirror, you. Like, what is your core identity? If you say, I'm a financial advisor, okay, great. What does that mean? Let's just say I'm a financial advisor, I'm a parent, I'm a spouse, I'm a friend. Core identities, right? All cool. I'm a financial advisor or a financial planner, doesn't matter. Well, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? What are the core characteristics in your mind of a financial advisor? What is the essence of a financial advisor? And that's a very interesting question, isn't it? I submit that the answer to that question looks something like this in the new world. You're a coach, you're a leader, you're a mentor, you're a teacher. When you think, and you're an influencer and a persuader and all the above, that is the core identity. It's not about your financial planning acumen or skill set or experience or any of that. I mean, it's when somebody retains you as their advisor / planner, competency is assumed. Nobody hires you hoping it works, or I hope you don't jack up my money. Nobody hires you under that premise. Oh, let's just see what happens. Nobody does that. Competency is assumed. So if your mind is, well, we're just really good at what we do, like I'm an excellent planner, well, but it's already assumed you are. There's no juice there. Think about this. If I took a prospect and I had them go to 3 advisors and each advisor did a financial plan, I'd get 3 different concepts of a financial plan. Even if you use the same software, I'll get 3 iterations of it, right? So if I'm a consumer, how do I know what a good plan looks like? Nobody shops financial planning. Nobody shops asset management. So think about that. Like what does all this look like? Nobody knows. Nobody can compare it. So they expect you to be competent. They expect you to be confident. With a real value add, lead them, coach them, train them, connect with them, influence them, persuade them, lead them. That's the game. That's the game today. And that's going to be the bigger game tomorrow as AI comes into our world and we start having AI-driven financial planning, we have AI-driven asset management. And don't think for a second like, oh man, Joe, that's never going to happen. Bull. It's happening as I speak. So if you want to know what the value add is going to be 5 years from now in this game, like where the puck's going, as the great Wayne Gretzky would call it, it is not being a better financial planner. It is not being a better wealth manager. What it is about is becoming a financial coach, becoming a leader, becoming a teacher. That's the game. It's the humanity part of our game that will differentiate the people that have high margin, loyalty, massive value add versus the people that are executing things and giving information. Keep that in mind. That is not a prediction. I'm not in the prediction business. I am telling you what I'm seeing in the marketplace after 30 years. See it. I got my pulse on it. I'm educating my clients on what our businesses need to look like over the next 5 years. This is not some hypothetical exercise that I'm doing. You must take on the identity of leader, coach, persuader, influencer. That is the game going forward. It is not just enough to be a financial advisor. It will not be enough to be a planner. It will not be enough to be a wealth advisor. So I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to spend some time with you. I hope this has you thinking about your future. Thank you, and I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game, both personally and professionally.